Hey there guys, it's the RC Devil here. Today I'm just going to be showing you how to put some shock covers on your shocks, 1/10 scale shock specifically. That's because I recently just filled mine out with some 50 weight shock oil rebuilding them. So just to keep them clean and plush, like as you can see here, nice and operating smoothly, what we're going to do is we're going to put some shock covers on there to keep everything nice, fit, and clean. So here's how you're going to do it. Okay, and here's what you're going to need. First thing, some 4-inch cable ties or zip ties, whichever. Same thing. Then you're going to need some scissors. These are old barber scissors. Your shocks, of course. And a bicycle tube. This is a 700 by 25 to 35C tube. And this is meant for a road bike. You're going to want to use a road bike tube for 1/10 scale shocks. If you have like a 1/5 scale vehicle, then move up to the mountain bike tubes, which usually go to like 1.75 inches wide and up, and that'll give you a good fit. For 1/10 scale, this will be good. Now before we get started putting on the shock covers, you're going to want to make sure that all of your shocks are adjusted properly and equally together, because after you do the shock covers, you can't really adjust them individually afterward. So go ahead and do that like I'm doing. Okay, so your next step, you're going to need your scissors and your bicycle tube. What you're going to want to do is cut the bicycle tube close to the valve stem. But you're not going to want to cut it too close, because then you'll get that rubber buildup that's around the valve stem. Then take your shock and place it on top of your bicycle tube. That way you can measure out what you're going to want to cut. And see, it goes all the way down to the bottom and basically at the top of the shock cap. After you cut it, it should look like this. And that's what you're going to want for the shock covers that we're making today. Okay, so after you've cut out your bicycle tube, you're going to want to go ahead and wash it in some water. You're going to do that just so you get all that white mold release agent off, and that'll make it easier to work with as well as cleaner. Now, after you've rinsed out your bicycle tube, or shock cover by now I guess, you're going to want to flip it inside out. What this does is it gets rid of that natural curve that comes with bicycle tubes, as well as gets rid of all the markings on the outside, making more of the bicycle tube useful to you. This is basically how it should look done. See how it has a nice finished black color to it? That's what you want. Now take the shock cover that you have and you're going to slide it over the shock. Now this may take some time and patience, but eventually you'll get it on. And it is a little bit tight, but that's good. This is how your shock should look now with the shock cover on it. Now, what you're going to need is your zip ties. So you're going to grab them. You're going to need 2 per shock. Take it around, just like that. Tighten them. You're going to want to do this close to the shock retainer that you have at the bottom. That way it doesn't slip off or get in the way when you're trying to screw in your shocks to your car. Now just play around with it like I'm doing right now. And now it's tight. It's time to move on towards the top. Now the top part is a little bit different. See how there's a little edge here? And that's where the shock cap is at? That's where you're going to want to place your zip tie, right below that area. So take your zip tie just like the bottom one. String it through. Okay, and now as you're tightening it, tighten it a little bit, and then you're going to want to push up on it to make it go against that ridge that I was talking about. So just how I'm doing it right here. Tighten it a little bit, and then push it up to make sure it's there. You just continually do that until you get the zip tie as tight as possible, and then try and get it up as high as possible as well. After you place your zip ties on, go and double check them and tighten them again. That way later on down the road they don't come loose. then take either your scissors or pliers. In my case, I just use pliers because they're easier. Like you said, you can just use scissors because that's what was required. If you have these cutting pliers right here, go ahead and just snip them off, the top one and then the bottom one. This is the last step, and that is trimming the excess off. I was using pliers, but I'll switch to scissors just for you guys. Make sure don't trim them too short though. Now after you remove the excess off the top and bottom, you'll see it has a nice top fitment right there, nice bottom fitment. Overall a clean look, I would say. You have a little bit of shavings left over. Overall I just say cut it a little bit extra like that. And the shock still goes like normal. It makes it a little bit stiffer though, in my honest opinion. But if you don't really have anything to use, I'd say this is the way to go. So thanks for watching, and I hope that helps. And just send me any do-it-yourself stuff, and I'll try it out and make a video.